I'm a live host and a moderator, and I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the fourth day of the Indian and the Global Symposium 2020. Our today's webinar is on career guidance and opportunities for CS aspirants, one of the most renowned and lucrative careers that a lot of people look up to. We are delighted and supremely excited to have on board with us Mr. Pankaj Chaurasia, an established company secretary with an extensive experience in the field for over 20 plus odd years. He has been heading the corporate secretaries department at ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India Limited, formerly known as SR Steel India Limited. Sir, it is a great honor to have you on board. May I please invite you? Thank you so much for taking out your
Thank you.
invaluable time and joining us and gracing this session with your presence. We are truly humbled with your presence. And we all have been supremely excited and feeling absolutely intrigued to be hearing your anecdotes. So before we proceed further and commence with today's webinar, I'll be urging you to kindly give a little brief introduction about the kind of role that you've been playing, and also to probably highlight a little just about the transformation that has happened over the years in the field of CS.
Thank you, Prajakta. It was really a nice introduction you have given to me. Thanks a lot for your warm welcome. And I greet everybody, greet everybody and wishing them all the success before we commence this nice webinar. With regard to my journey as a company secretary, I started as of course I started as a trainee, then went on becoming the company secretary and I did various roles as a company secretary of the company. Journey has been very blissful and very nice, beautiful. So as far as the role of company secretary is concerned, this is very powerful role one can envisage as far as any other curriculum we have, which is contemporary like chart accountancy and cost accountancy. So company secretary course offers a very unique blend of knowledge, position, and reward. Of course, other courses, I don't want to compare with any other courses. Those are all beautifully designed, beautifully crafted courses, and they have their own ups and follies. But we are here to discuss the course of company secretaryship. So company secretaryship is the only course which gives a young entrepreneur or a professional direct access to board of directors, the apex decision making body, and any individual who has a good confidence level, good interpretation skills, and willingness to grow in this life definitely has a great opportunity to move ahead in the life as compared to any other professional. This is the only course which offers you a direct access to highest decision making body of any company.
Wonderful.
Be it 1,000 rupee company, be it 1 lakh crore company. So this is the position which is very important. It gives a great opportunity to all the professionals. And of course, this curriculum is also very vast, which gives you very varied knowledge and experience. One can explore various aspects of different aspects of management, different aspects of various stream, not just the corporate law. So I feel in all it is very balanced course aiming to bring in the good governance culture and custodian of corporate ethics by the corporate world.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the overall. I just want to say. You want to?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, in India have been trying to clear CS. We have noticed a pattern that a lot of people give several attempts, and somehow for some reason or the other, they're not able to make it through the final CS. So I have certain questions from aspiring candidates, CS students, and I would really appreciate you throwing some light on it and, you sharing your anecdotes and insights on the same. My first question would be, what are the prospects one can expect after completing CS?
As I mentioned to you, after becoming company secretary, clearing the exams and after securing the membership number, one will be getting an opportunity either as a directly company secretary or
Hmm.
as he may be part of a larger organization. It
Hmm.
depends on which organization you are joining, is it a small organization or a larger organization. If you're joining a larger organizations, obviously you will not be becoming a company secretary, you will be part of a team.
Hmm.
So you'll be apart from joining as a company secretary in a company, one can also start as a practice as a
Hmm.
company secretary. In addition to that, the role, both the roles are exceedingly exciting. It depends on the
Okay.
kind of approach one has to have. If somebody wants to have have more entrepreneurial skill and wants to, test his credentials and credibility in open market and doesn't want to be, depend on the monthly salaries and all,
Hmm.
and he wants to take more risk and more this entrepreneurial skills, then he can go for a practicing company secretary role also. And
Okay.
this is one aspect, of course, but you when you are in practice, obviously you have to shell out more efforts, you have to put in more efforts, and it will take comparatively more time to get
Hmm.
established. But however, once you are established, then sky is the limit. So in
Okay.
long term, practicing company secretary role will be giving you a very exciting future.
All right.
Nevertheless, most of the company secretary prefers to be a company secretary in an organization because there is some shelter of the corporate laws which
Okay.
made them compulsory to have a company secretary in a corporate,
Okay.
depending on the certain criteria. So then one has to have a company secretary. So
Okay.
that is an easy opportunity because companies are not able to find enough number of company secretaries. It is
Hmm.
forget about the competent company secretary.
Hmm.
We don't have the even numbers of the equal numbers of the companies. Company secretaries needed for all the companies who are
Hmm.
supposed to appoint company secretary,
All right.
and there is a dearth of efficient and competent company secretaries also, which is otherwise also available as such the requirement. So when a person becomes a company secretary, then obviously it has a very vast row opportunities and enough roles are available to him to choose from.
Okay.
And there is no problem once a person become a company secretary. The virtually there is no dearth of opportunity, dearth of job. There is
Hmm.
enough job, no competition virtually. But one has to have their own calibers and all, of course, that
In order to
matters.
get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But
talking
opportunities are
of
fantastic.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Perfect. I wanted to understand, sir. I'm a law graduate. I have done my law a few years back, and I remember a lot of my batchmates and colleagues had tried for CS back then when I was graduating, and that is a very good combination. A lot of people do law apart along with CS. It's supposed to be very healthy in nature, and it gives you more boost to your field. But then now I have noticed, there's a change in the pattern of entrance examination that has happened since a year's time, if I'm not wrong. So, would you want to, give any knowledge on that? What is the difference? Has there been like too much of modification or amendments in that arena? Because earlier, when I appeared for my CS, that was almost 2 years back. They did not have any kind of entrance examination to appear for the executive. If you have cleared your 12th standard or if you've cleared your graduation, you have the option of giving executive directly without going for the foundation course. And then obviously once you get through the executive module, you just have to clear the finals. But now there's been a change in the pattern. Initially you have to clear an entrance, only then you are eligible and you're entitled to appear for the executive program. So would you want to give any insights on that?
See, as far as entrance exams are concerned, this will be more details and requisite details, I would rather call it, are available on the
Hmm.
website of the company secretary. So we
Hmm.
should not because these are very preliminary information which are available on the website of the company.
Hmm.
You just
Hmm.
call any of the chapters of the Institute of Company Secretary. They will give you
Hmm.
all this information. So I
Oh.
don't want to give much time on this. But
Hmm.
as far as law combination is concerned, it's a really very good combination. And once you are law is a general law. When it comes to company secretaryship, it is also a specialized extension of law.
Hmm.
So when one person is a law graduate, like I'm a law graduate also, I've done my law and I've done my company secretaryship also. So law is a journal expert of law. Whereas when we talk about the company secretaryship, the company secretary is a specialized branch or extension of law, which is
Okay.
corporate laws. So
Okay.
it is virtually same, but of course you need to clear two different exams and to have the two different branches of a same tree. But
Hmm.
has but when you have both the degrees, then it gives you immense advantage when you are dealing with the corporate laws. Like I was many a times barring this company, I was always heading a legal department.
Okay.
So when you are a law graduate, it always be added advantage to you. Of course, not compulsory, but
Hmm.
having
Hmm.
additional degree is always helpful to you.
Certainly, certainly. Sir, I think we've been receiving some questions already from the audience here, from all the participants who are attending the webinar. What is the job opportunity in abroad like Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand for CS graduates? How
Yeah.
lucrative or what is the potential they have?
Uh, Lucrative and potential is different aspect. As far as opportunities are concerned, we are supposed we have Institute of Company Secretaries of India has a tie-up with the UK Institute of Company Secretaries. So one need to clear very small a few papers, and then if they're through, they can be appointed as company secretary of any UK company. And
Okay.
certain laws, the Commonwealth countries also provide certain exemptions. And instead of clearing full exams, they can clear a couple of papers, and they become they can take up assignments as company secretaries as such in those countries.
Okay.
As far as the job package is concerned, of course, this is a very specialized field again.
Hmm.
Unlike when person going abroad and is talking about this, more or less is IT. So unlike IT, this has a very different potential. It is
Hmm.
lucrative, of course, but
Hmm.
it depends on the kind of opportunity, because in India we have vast opportunities compared to any other companies. We have more than 3 lakhs companies in India, which is put together across the world. Whatever companies we have put together may not be equal to whatever number of companies we have in India. So potential is of course more, but when you are getting an opportunity in country like UK, or in countries like maybe in Canada or
Hmm.
Australia also. So
Hmm.
many companies, the secretaries have gone there, established themselves very effectively, efficiently, and they're earning good money.
Okay.
So opportunities are of course there, but when it comes to opportunity, it largely depends on uh, attitude of a person. This is most
Attitude
important
of the
aspect of any.
person. Aptitude
Yeah, that
in
is most.
general.
Yeah, that is most important. How the person is confident, how person is carrying his responsibilities, how confident of taking a further lead. That is most important. If you just want to, one person just want to restrict himself towards the just corporate laws and nothing else, then obviously the opportunity will not be that great. But one person is willing to take additional responsibilities, more willing to take shoulder other responsibility, then obviously he has a comparatively better career than a normal person. Attitude makes a
Certainly.
lot of difference.
Perfect. Brilliantly articulated, sir. We have another question. Can a management student pursue CS, and what is the age criteria for the same? Is there any age limit for the candidate who intends to pursue CS?
See, the basic criteria that I have already been given. There's one has to clear. If they want to have a foundation exam, then after
Hmm.
12th exam they can pursue, and after
Hmm.
graduation they can go for inter and final. After clearing inter, they can go final. So for all grades, be it management or non-management, the
Hmm.
criteria will remain same. But if you're a law graduate and cost accountant, then you get some certain exemption under the company's curriculum,
Hmm.
company secretary's curriculum. You get couple of subjects are exempted. But these are all clerical details which are available on the website of the Institute of Company Secretaries. So, or
Okay.
even it can be procured from Institute of Company Secretaries chapters across the
Okay.
across, which is available across the nation, as such.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, I think our next question is: can anyone offer CS after completing chartered accountants? And
yeah,
what
of
are the
course.
qualities to become a good secretary?
Good command over the law. That is basic requirement. In
Hmm.
addition to being a very good with the law and the procedure, one has to be confident of dealing with and handling the board of directors,
Okay.
and understand the question first.
Hmm.
What is posed to them.
Hmm.
So basically, the most important requirements to abreast with the latest developments and the law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what is more advisable as per your personal suggestion to practice CS or to work in a company or to do a job?
Depends
What
on the
is
kind of,
recommended from you?
yeah, both are very rewarding.
Hmm.
Of course, initially, when you opt for a practice, you have to shell out more energy, you have to shell out more efforts
Hmm.
to establish yourself in the field, because you have to slog initially comparatively more as compared to employment.
Hmm.
Both have its own charms, both have its own advantage and disadvantage. In corporate law world, you have the COVID situation.
Hmm.
Even
Hmm.
though you are getting salaries
Hmm.
sitting at home, maybe you may be working from home, you may not be working from home, but
Hmm.
when you're in employment, you'll be getting your own salaries every month. This is a classic example. Whereas in practicing company secretary, of course, unless you're on retainership basis on some certain companies, you have to work, then only you'll be getting money. So this is a very first difference. But when you are in practice, you are your own owner. Whereas in
Hmm.
employment, you're ultimately an employee.
Yeah, you're bound by a
आप
contract. Yeah,
yeah,
certain.
yeah, you're not अपने आप मालिक नहीं है.
Hmm.
As simple as that. Whereas in practicing company secretary can always say that he's the owner of his own proprietary firm or a partner in a partnership firm, which is
Certainly.
not the case
Okay.
with the which is not the case with the company secretaries and employment.
Okay, sir. So talking about COVID-19, we all know that the entire world has been affected. We all have been impacted very badly. There's been a downfall in the at the global economy. And what is your take? Where do you see the profession of CS surviving in the next few years?
COVID has no impact virtually on anything.
Hmm.
It's a temporary pause on all the financial activities.
Hmm.
So once we have a vaccine or we have a treatment,
Hmm.
nobody will be ever talking about COVID. It's only
Hmm.
2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever time we have.
Hmm.
Once we have the cure or we have a vaccine, either of this, people will not be bothered about this COVID at all, at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
And I don't see any impact on long term or on medium range also on
Hmm.
any of the professions, be it chartered accountancy or company secretaryship or any other professional courses like this. Highly,
Okay.
highly unlikely.
Okay. And so, what do you recommend? Self studies or joining a coaching classes if somebody is trying to get through CS, an aspirant?
Having joined studies and joining coaching classes will always help,
Hmm.
because you will get to know other aspect of studies also when you are interacting with your fellow students. So your sharing of mind is always there. But when it comes to study, whether you are going and joining any coaching classes or join the studies, ultimately you have to do study on your own and you have to
Hmm.
write your own papers. So irrespective of whether you're going to any institute or you're doing at home,
Hmm.
you have to write your answer sheets,
Hmm.
for which you obviously you have to study on your own.
So, the
If
individual
you,
effort always makes a difference.
it is the only individual effort will make any difference.
Hmm.
That is the only and when it comes to studies, my
Hmm.
strong advice to all the students that whatever study material will be getting or they are getting from the institute, they must do it 3 to 4 times. If they are able to complete the study material for 3 or 4 times, then it is highly unlikely
Hmm.
that they will be failed. Highly unlikely. And they will be able to answer every damn question which is there in the study material, which there in the question paper, and they will be able to find all the answers in the study material. That
Okay.
is how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Can you please throw some light on the difficulty level of examination?
A very interesting question. A very important question, I would rather call it. Or the
Hmm.
most important question, I would say.
Hmm.
It is beautiful because this career is very rewarding,
Hmm.
and it has a beautiful future also. It has a very
Hmm.
challenging role also. Great
Hmm.
recognition also, because you get to see the biggest people on the earth. You can just interact with them, you know. So this beautiful course. But when it comes to clearing of this, one has to understand this is a national level exam. Percentage is only 1 or 2 or 3 percentage. So one has
Hmm.
to be very sure that they are competing the best
Hmm.
who are available, because those who feel that they can achieve, they are reasonably good in the studies, then only they will go for or they will opt for this kind of professional courses. So only intelligent guys or girls only will be joining this course who has basic intelligence, which is above average. One has to, all the student must understand that they will be competing the best available in the lot, and they have to be very systematic in their studies, because the exams are real tough.
Hmm.
Percentage level is hardly 2 or 3%. That is
Yeah.
also very that also depends
Very
on the
challenging.
kind.
Very
Yeah, so it's a
challenging. Yeah.
very, it's a tough exam, very tough exam, I would call it. And results are really yeah, very limited, maybe 1 to 3%, not more than that. So it is, one has to understand this is a most critical aspect, that you need to clear the exams, and difficult, of course.
And what is the tentative amount of hours you would request, students to spend into their studying?
Uh,
How
I
many hours do
feel
you
what,
think is
yeah,
essential?
I understand. Yeah, yeah. If you're opening for the both groups or all the
Hmm.
groups, maybe, because again, I used to study, it was two groups. Now it is
Hmm.
three groups. So if you're able to devote 4 hours
Hmm.
every day
Hmm.
for 4 months, I feel nobody can stop one from clearing this exam. If you are able to do 4 hours a day, apart from
Hmm.
whatever do you do, maybe you are going to 10 coachings, 100 coachings, whatever time you are devoting towards your own coaching and all studies and all, joint studies, combined studies, some postal coaching or whatever you are doing. In
Hmm.
addition to that, you are devoting 4 hours a day.
Hmm.
If you are missing one day, then the next day you are supposed to complete 8 hours. If you are missed on 2 days, you are supposed
Hmm.
to come do 12 hours. If you are
Hmm.
able to give this kind of hours, nobody in this world can stop one person from clearing the exam. Even if a person who is appearing for the exam, he wants to, doesn't want to clear, then also it is not possible for him to clear, to fail.
Okay.
He has to clear. Yeah.
Okay. What is the best combination with CS? Is it CA, law, MBA, CFA, or any other? Can you please suggest
See, chartered
specifically?
accountants is always best. Chartered accountants is
Hmm.
always best. But most of the chartered accountant are company secretaries. When they are
Hmm.
pursuing one course, so it is difficult for the gentleman or lady to pursue other course, because
Hmm.
both are demanding in nature, and both are very yeah, very difficult courses, as such, I would say. So uh, so it is, best course, if you ask me, is CA, but difficult. Uh, if not CA, then any the most preferable course is law, the law LLB. In addition to that, if you are not able, then you want to add some more specialized branches, then you can go for trademark attorney courses, which are good. Then you can one can always opt for labor laws, which is very rewarding nowadays.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then in addition to that, the lastly I would say that the foreign trade and all this kind of courses, this kind of knowledge will always be helpful. Or some diplomas in RBI laws and something,
Hmm.
DGFT. There are multiple diplomas are available, which will help you. You know,
Okay. And
yeah.
so, what is the role of technology when it comes to the field of CS? As long as technology is concerned, how important it is, in the profession of CS?
Uh, Technology in terms of basic understanding of IT is important, but it is
Hmm.
not largely dependent on IT. Like
Hmm.
unlike, when it comes to IT sector, so it is not that you don't need to be that tech savvy, but
Hmm.
basic operations of basic packages you should know, the MS Office and all,
Hmm.
and some SAP and some SAP and all. This is basic requirement, not great.
Okay. We have few more questions coming in. Does CS student
Yeah,
get jobs in government organization? Very interesting question. What is the scope for
definitely.
CS professional in the field of government employment, government sector?
Uh, yeah, there is a government of India has brought another channel as such, vertical, which is called Indian Company Law Services,
Hmm.
which is at par with IAS, IARS. However, it is not equivalent, but it is virtually at par. So Indian Company Law Services. which is union government conducts exam through UPSC
Mm,
only,
mm,
and company secretary can always go for that. In
mm,
addition to that, like any other professional or any other graduate, they can pursue all the IS, IPS, and this kind of examination. When you have at a degree like this,
mm.
chances of after clearing the exam, chances of rising to higher level is always advantageous being company secretary.
Okay. Our next question is what major challenges does a company secretary face in context of dynamic business environment?
Conflict of interest. That
Conflict
is
of
the most
interest.
pertinent thing, right? One has to understand because many times when we want to do business and the law or ethics or corporate governance or maybe listing
Mm,
agreements or many other your own corporate norms may not
mm,
allow the decision to sell through. That is the role where one has to ensure that the requirement of the company organization are met
mm.
well within the four corners of the law. This is the most challenging aspect of a company secretary to ensure that whatever decisions are taken are in the best interest of the company and no non-compliance.
Okay. Okay.
Many times
Moving ahead.
promoters, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so many
So,
times, yeah, I'll give me a moment. So many times promoters, they wanted to execute certain decisions may not be in the interest of the corporate governance. One has to this poses a serious challenge. One has to tackle it very effectively and efficiently. That is what
hmm,
I'm trying to say. Yeah, carry on.
okay. Okay. Thank you. Our next question is while doing articleship, what should be our learning objective? And also, if you could mention, as long as the size of the firm is concerned, what is advisable, a mid-sized firm or, a tier one organization? What do you recommend? What
I
difference would it
listen.
make for a candidate, if somebody is interning or doing articleship in a mid-sized firm or in a leading firm?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Uh, I have done all throughout my life. I've been working in small companies.
Hmm.
This is first time in my career that I've been working in such a corporate mammoth, which is about
Hmm.
40,000, 50,000 crore company, one of the largest in India,
Hmm.
and we are the largest steel manufacturer in the world,
Hmm.
largest in the world. Okay, but nevertheless, coming back to the basic question, uh, it depends on kind of opportunity one is getting.
Hmm.
Both has its own advantage and disadvantage. If given an option, if a person is getting a opportunity in a established company, larger company, the growth comparatively will be better as
Hmm.
far as the department is concerned.
Hmm.
One person is if a person is joined as a trainee in Reliance, I would say. I'm just giving an example. So he will be expert of corporate laws in Reliance of particular stream.
Hmm.
But when a person joins as a trainee in a very smaller organization where the corporate law role is limited, that person will get hell of other opportunities to deal in other matters also, which is
Hmm.
not concerned, which are just not available to company secretaries otherwise. Maybe in taxation department, maybe in accounts, maybe in finance, legal, RBI related laws, labor laws. Because I myself has undertaken a small training in a very small companies and I've worked in a small company, so my growth
Hmm.
was vertical.
Okay.
Because my better half, my wife is also senior company secretary. She has always been working in large organizations which I just mentioned to you. So she has a vertical growth. She's expert of corporate laws and she's an authority on her law herself. Whereas when it comes to me, I'm having growth vertical, as like horizontal vertical growth. So I can be
Okay.
expert of hundreds of things. Whereas
Okay.
a person who is undertaken has done undergone a training in a smaller companies or larger companies, then they'll have expertise of a particular stream. One no one will have like this. So this has its own advantage. But when you are in a larger organization, your growth prospects are comparatively more
Hmm.
because then you have more access to bigger companies. Lot many bigger companies may not wish to have staff from smaller companies. They want to have particular set of companies from which they want to engage people. So given an option, of course, bigger or larger organization will always be.
Okay, sir. Thank you for addressing that very nicely. I'm sure a lot of people have been having similar concerns on those lines. Um, and I think our next question is there any stress management technique would you like to suggest if one is undergoing course of CS, which is very exhaustive? It's a very extensive program. It's, the topics are very vague, and there's a lot of mental pressure on the individual while doing the same. So are there any suggestions from your end that the person might get some relief?
Sleep well. That is the only thing one can do this. But there is no shortcut to hard efforts. Hard work, and even there is no shortcut. One has to
Okay.
undergo all this kind of stress moment, and then only one become one person becoming a professional. One has to undergo all this kind of stress or pressure, whatever we say. But one has to take it because they are ultimately competing with the best of the best and available in the lot. Stress management is only you can sleep nicely. That's the only thing. If you're able to take care of sleep, then most of the problem will not be there.
Okay. Okay.
While studying, and when you are in a profession, of course, sleep is irrelevant.
Okay.
But when you're a professional company secretary, I would advise strongly on one aspect that don't respond spontaneously. That is the word. One has to understand the question first, then one should respond.
Perfect. Perfect. So my next question for you is, what are the characteristics, attitude one must possess as a CS professional? What are the
See,
attributes which are expected out of a CS profession?
of course, being company secretary should be an expert of corporate laws.
Hmm.
The most important, you know, aspect of a company secretary being positive,
Hmm.
being analytical,
Hmm.
and there is always way for a problem. There is always a solution for a problem. One must understand that, and one accordingly one has to take a call on working on this. So one need to be very well versed with the law which is happening
Hmm.
around, and be positive. That's most important aspect. The attitude is most important aspect to be a successful company secretary.
Okay. Wonderful. So the next question that we have is, how do you find articleship in large, small, or mid-sized firm? Are they available at ICSI? Does ICSI recommend or they give you any kind of help while assisting you with the articleship?
Yeah, institute does provide help to all the aspirant company secretaryship and professionals.
Hmm.
It is available on the website of the company. Also, it is available on the various chapters also where you want to undergo this kind of trainings. All the companies, those who wants to have institute trainees, they have to approach the institute or a particular chapter,
Hmm.
and accordingly, the chapters disseminate all this information to all the aspirants, and they have this information. But mostly, one has to approach all the companies individually
Hmm.
to get the desired training.
Hmm.
So it is basically company institute will only provide you the list of the companies available.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah, one has to apply.
Okay. Sure. So my next question is CS course open for all the streams? Example, science and arts. Very
Yeah,
relevant.
yeah. One has to clear the exams and then they can go for this.
Okay. But then a commerce student will always be preferred. You think a commerce person will always
No,
have an edge over, over
no,
the
as such,
field?
no,
No? Okay.
no,
All right.
absolutely no. Only commerce person has more comparative because he has studied 3 4 years more than as compared to any other graduate from any other stream. But
Hmm.
ultimately, when you this is a highly specialized and a skilled course. So
Hmm.
one person whosoever is whichever stream one has cleared his basic education, one has to be expert of corporate law, and corporate law is same for everyone. So it won't
Okay.
make virtually any difference to any stream.
Okay. So our next question is, Is Indian CS accepted outside India for doing practice or job? What is the
No,
criteria if one? No, they aren't.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
They have to clear the respective exams. We have only tie-up with the Institute of Company Secretaries of UK, and
Hmm.
no other. So one has to clear. There are some exemptions, but one has to clear all the exams of respective countries.
Okay. Okay. Sir, our next question is there any role of maths involved in company secretary?
No, as such, no. But
No.
one having maths is always advantageous in 11th and 12th because this will give you more analytical mind.
Hmm.
Because I feel personally, because I was deprived of mathematics, I was given forcefully commerce because
Hmm.
of the great grades in mathematics.
Hmm.
So, but I feel having a mathematics in the 11th and 12th will be more advantageous as far as your analytical mind is concerned. But as far as company secretary is concerned, any stream is fine.
All right. So, would you like to throw some light how to handle different types of board of directors while you're performing your duty as a CS? How imperative is your role in an organization?
Uh, Few things. One has to understand that the person who are there on the board are more knowledgeable than you, come what may.
Hmm.
They have
Hmm.
seen more world because that's why
Hmm.
they are on that.
Hmm.
So never try to bluff, never try to mislead. If
Hmm.
you know things, you should tell them very confidently about the law. If you're not sure, if you don't know, then say you don't know or you're not sure. Don't
Hmm.
try to mislead or give any information just like for the sake of giving, because this will
Yeah.
boomerang for sure. Because the person who are there, they will understand. If they don't know, they may not be knowing the law. But
Hmm.
if you're bluffing, then or if you're not, if you're misleading, then they will definitely get to know about that person is misleading. You know, which is
Trying to
not
give a
good for a company
false
secretary.
impression. Trying to give a
Yeah,
false
yeah,
impression.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And 1 second. I think we have a couple of more questions coming in. How important is it to have a good language and vocabulary as far as articulation skills are concerned? How important is the role of good communication when it comes to CS?
Very essential. The
Hmm.
crisp and unambiguous communication is very important.
Hmm.
This becomes more important when you have a joint venture or divergent partners. Like in my case, I have two mammoth organization as partners. One is Nippon Steel Corporation from Japan. Another
Hmm.
is ArcelorMittal from Luxembourg.
Hmm.
So it is very important that you are very clear, unambiguous, and confusion free communication.
Hmm.
Command over the language, as far as drafting is concerned, it has to be excellent.
Hmm.
Has to be excellent. No, not knowing English will not be a great thing,
Hmm.
because many foreigners doesn't know English, so they are interacting difficult to interact. But knowing the language is always advisable. Command over good communication skill is essential for a company secretary.
Okay. All right. So my next question is, if somebody has appeared for CS and they're not able to get through, but they have a decent amount of knowledge, and despite of not clearing the final exam, do they still hold a good or decent chance of getting employment in the same field?
Yeah, in larger organization, they will take it, but the growth opportunity will be restricted.
Okay.
Obviously, it cannot be compared with a qualified company secretary.
Okay.
Uh, but when it comes to semi-qualified, many organizations prefer semi-qualified people.
Hmm.
But very numbers are very low,
Hmm.
because they feel that if they don't need a qualified company secretary for compliance purposes, they may go for a semi-qualified person,
Hmm.
so that continuity is more secured as compared to professional qualified company secretary. But obviously, chances compared to any graduate is more, but as a company
Hmm.
secretary, of course, negligible.
And what are the other alternative careers one can opt for if not CS? If one is not able to get through CS, what are the other options one can consider?
Uh, there are hundreds of other things which, if you are not company secretary, you can do anything which is available
Okay.
under the sky, under the sky.
Okay.
But as you are a company secretary and you want to pursue other careers, then it is important.
Okay.
Then I can suggest that there are vast opportunities available, because many company secretaries or most of the company secretaries feel that when they become a company secretary or clears the exam, then they wanted to be as a company secretary only. Whereas
Hmm.
I feel company secretary is just a tool just a tool, and which ensure that which exhibit or which is a testimony of you having a good IQ and
Hmm.
intelligence.
Okay.
That is most important thing, and you can take up any other role despite clearing as a company secretaryship.
Hmm.
I know many friends who are doctors and then qualified company secretary also,
Hmm.
practitioner doctors. But
Okay.
that is okay. There are exceptional cases, but being as a company secretary, you can work as trademark attorneys. You can practice as IRP also. You can practice in company law board also.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
is NCLT now. I
Okay.
feel that labor law could be one of the most challenging aspect. One can take it up, very lucrative if you have
Hmm.
expertise on that, and being qualified company secretary. This can offer a very great perks and lucrative career.
Okay. Perfect. So we have few more questions coming in. Can you please help to explain topics involved in CS and its purpose in corporate?
Uh, it depends on the kind of company you are involved.
Hmm.
You are working. Mostly company secretaries are involved in listed entities. So one has to be careful about two things. One is corporate law,
Hmm. Hmm.
and other is the listing agreement.
Hmm.
Listing agreement with the stock exchange of wherever a company is listed,
Hmm.
and few SEBI guidelines which are very pertinent, very particular, and very critical, like is takeover code, SEBI insider regulations. These are
Hmm.
very important aspect which provides very timely and very strict compliances. So one has to be very careful about those things, and these are all few are event based and mostly are on date based. So on completion of particular period, one has to comply with those guidelines. So SEBI takeover code, insider regulations, listing agreements, and corporate law. These are very critical.
Okay. Okay.
Corporate in the sense Companies Act.
Okay. Sure. So our next question is any role played by CS in regulatory investigation?
Many in SEBI,
Hmm.
all the investigations are generally led by company secretaries or chartered accountants or professionally
Hmm.
qualified, having detailed experience on this. Of course, to get into that role, one has to clear a couple of exams and do this. But these are the very when any regulatory authorities wants to investigate
Hmm.
affairs of any company on corporate law, so they prefer company secretaries.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. Sir, our next question is role of CS in NCLT and liquidation process. Now that's quite an interesting question. Would you like to elaborate on that a bit?
NCLT, when the government has formed NCLT and carved out all the matters which are pending before the High Court.
Hmm.
So it and company secretary allowed to practice before NCLT.
Hmm.
It opens great opportunities box for the company secretaries, and very competent and many a times non-competent company secretaries are also appearing before NCLT, and
Hmm.
it is tremendous opportunity, but one has to approach with the caution and care, because they are directly competing with the lawyers who are far more efficient in placing a matter before any judicial authority.
Hmm.
So but this is again I said, depends on the kind of attitude one has.
Hmm.
If one person is confident and competent, then they can place themselves very well before the NCLT also, and it is indeed a great opportunity. Liquidation process is not very lucrative, but of course it offers a great amount of remuneration and recognition for company secretaries. But
Hmm.
liquidation takes a very compared to 100 companies. If you take 100 companies, then maybe one or two may be going for liquidation or even less. So opportunity compared to liquidation in the liquidation company will be comparatively less.
Okay. Sure. Sir, our next question is any scope of CS in IBBI Act?
One has to clear the few exams. If there is a registered valuer exam, there is a insolvency resolution professional exam. So one has to clear those exams. Then only they will have adequate role in IBBI.
Okay. All right. And second, since you have 20 years of experience, can you please run through the journey of CS professional life that you've had over the years?
As I mentioned to you earlier, also in my opening remark, the company secretary course is very beautiful course.
Hmm.
And if you are given a if you do justice with that,
Okay.
then you will have a great opportunity to rise on the corporate ladder.
Hmm.
It is a very powerful position,
Hmm.
has a direct access to promoters, owners of the company,
Hmm.
decision makers, and gives you immense opportunity to grow as an individual, as a professional on corporate ladder, and ensure that you become a very successful person on corporate as far as corporate is concerned. So
Okay.
only company secretaryship offers this kind of role.
Hmm.
No other, as I mentioned, no other firm or no other. I'm sorry, firm, not firm. No other courses are giving this kind of opportunities. So
Okay. Sir, are there any global association done by ICSI for promoting course?
yeah, I've just mentioned now instead of company secretaries of UK, we have tie. In addition to
Hmm.
that, we are supposed to clear some exams with the Commonwealth countries. Also, we can be a company secretary. We can take up
Hmm.
employment. So those are all
Hmm.
available with us.
Okay. And we have one more question coming in. In case of IPO process, what role is played by CS?
Most critical role. Most critical role. And
Okay.
many companies appoint senior company secretaries only to complete this process. The IPO is
Okay.
very critical for any company to so compliance. It is basically corporate laws, and a lot of
Okay.
compliances, a lot of reports, a lot of analysis is required, and the company secretary only does all this. And so one of the most important aspect of a company secretary's life is handling IPOs. So
Hmm.
basically, company secretaries are the person who are the backbone of any IPO.
Okay. So what are the external factors one needs to keep in mind while climbing up the ladder of CS profession?
One is always be honest, no politics,
Hmm. Hmm.
and having a cordial relationship with everyone, but
Hmm.
not at the cost of your own self-esteem.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, and you should know your job very well. You should know your
Hmm.
domain knowledge. You should have that is most
Hmm.
important aspect. That being a
Hmm.
company secretary, one has to be good at corporate laws,
Hmm.
and don't one should not be go down with the the unnecessary pressure and laws. When you say it is correct. The end of discussion. And when somebody is
Okay.
saying, then one should not just mellow either a stand or that one has to take care as a tough nut to say.
Okay. Okay, so I think that was pretty much about it. I think we've answered almost all the questions which are coming in. Thank you so much, sir. Would you like to convey any tips from your side to all the aspirants, all the students who are intending to clear CS, who intend to get through the examination, as some encouraging words from your side?
Yes, a couple of things. There is no shortcut to success.
Hmm.
Hard work is the only key.
Hmm.
If you devote 4 hours a day
Hmm.
for 3, 4, 5 months, depending
Hmm.
upon the kind number of groups you are appearing. If you are
Hmm.
appearing for all the groups, then 4 months studies is enough to clear
Hmm.
your exams.
Hmm.
Once you become a company secretary, one has to
Hmm.
be very positive, and attitude makes a lot of difference or all the difference among the company
Hmm.
secretaries. So this is a mantra of
Okay.
life, mantra of success, I would rather call it.
Okay. So I think we've received one more final question before we can close it and end the webinar. How safe is the job of secretary for girls? I see
Oh, it's excellent.
a lot of women, they also end up doing private coaching, and they quite, end up making a career out of it if not, somebody, is not wanting to work as an employee, or they don't intend to practice as a CS professional. So what is your take on that?
It's a myth, I would say. The working
Hmm.
atmosphere in the country is
Hmm.
excellent,
Hmm.
excellent,
Hmm.
and there are equal opportunities. Rather, many firms prefer
Hmm.
female company secretaries over the male company secretaries because they're more dedicated compared to male.
Hmm.
So there is a very lucrative opportunity for them,
Hmm.
and there is no as far as I would say differentiation as far as pay is concerned or work profile is concerned.
Hmm.
Girls are more preferred, and it's excellent opportunity. And work-wise, be as in practice or in employment,
Hmm.
there is no difference. The safety is not a criteria at all, at all,
Okay.
at all.
Okay. Okay.
It is rather all the more it is more safe to become the secretary than any other profession.
Okay. All right. I think that was it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for
Thank
those
you.
words of wisdom and sharing your insights and enlightening each one of us. I'm sure we all have imbibed a lot of knowledge from today's webinar. It has been absolutely fruitful and very enriching session. Thank you once again for being on board with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's pleasure is
To
all mine. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. And also to all the participants who are still with us, we have our next webinar on the 14th, which is happening on CISI from UK at the same time, that is 6:30 p.m. onwards. So I'll be urging all of you to kindly register yourself and attend the same. We'll look forward for your presence on the 14th once again. Thank you so much, sir. We are truly humbled with your presence. Thank you so much. Take care.
Pleasure is all mine. God bless.
Thank you.